Hey guys, Wooksy here, and this is part 1 of 5 of the tutorial starting series that I'm working on. In this one, I'll be showing you which classes to play or which ones I prefer to pick, which DLCs, in my opinion, are worth it and which ones are not. And we're also going to be going over each class just a little bit, showing you why some are good and why some aren't. So that's what we're going to be going over in this video. So first off, we're just going to go over some of the classes, and I'll show you which ones come with which DLCs and which ones do not. So just starting off with the Viking, this one does not come with a DLC, this is within the base game. He's a very good class overall. I like him personally just because he has a lot of attack speed, he's very strong, he can run across the map very quickly, so he's a fun class to play. In terms of the ladder right now, there's not a lot of Vikings, so he's probably one of the least played currently, but he's definitely strong. Next, going to the Pyromancer. The Pyromancer's strong, it's just he's kind of like the Viking. There's not a lot of people playing him just because he's kind of out of season right now. But when you play a Pyro, you're going to be experiencing a lot of AoE because you have Armageddon, you have Fire Nova, you have all sorts of crazy AoE abilities. So you're going to have a lot of fun if you play him. So he's personally one of my favorites just because he just has a ton of AoE and it's a lot of fun. So he's one of my favorites for sure. The marksman, he's gotten nerfed a little bit. He used to be kind of just the go-to all DPS carry of the game. Now he's not that so much. He's more of he does steady, constant DPS at range. Um, and that's pretty much it. I mean, he just does steady DPS. He's a decently well balanced class, I would say personally. Going to the pirate, the pirate's kind of cool because you get a lot of extra MF, which is magic find by the way. And she has some cool AoE abilities, so her clear speed isn't that bad compared to some other classes. Then the Nomad. The Nomad's a lot of fun. He has a lot of AoE, kind of like the pirate. I would say he probably has more AoE abilities, and by AoE I mean area of effect. So you're trying to clear the screen as fast as possible. Nomad's a good choice for that. He can also be fairly tanky to play, so he's definitely a good choice. Redneck, one of my favorite personally. He has a lot of AoE just with his chainsaw massacres, and then the pickup raids that he does are a lot of fun to play with, and I just personally enjoy it a lot. Very fun class. Once you get max cooldown reduction, he's just so much fun. Then going into the Necro, this one does not require DLC, so this will be the last of the non-DLC characters. Now, the Necro is not so great right now, but he is still really fun. You can summon a lot of minions, you can do AoE poison novas and things like that, so if you're looking to play the summoner class, this is definitely the one to go. Now, you have to buy the Carp of Doom expansion to play the Samurai. However, the Samurai is extremely strong. He's one of the faster farmers because he has a lot of teleport abilities. He can clear the map extremely quickly compared to some other characters. So, would I suggest buying this DLC for this character? Absolutely. I think it's worth it. This character is very, very, very good, and he's one of the more higher tier melee classes to play. The Paladin comes with the Depths of Hell DLC. Um, I really enjoy the Paladin a lot just because I don't know if you guys seen the Shotgun build I've done, but he's just one of the characters I've always enjoyed playing. He has a couple different builds that are really good for him, and they're all fairly tanky. So if you're looking for a fairly tanky hero that does okay clear speed and could pretty much handle all content in the game, then the Paladin is a good choice for that. Now, next is the Amazon. You have to buy the Amazon Jungle Bundle DLC to unlock her. She's extremely fast for AoE clearing, probably one of the fastest. So if you're looking for a character to farm up a lot of currency or to farm up a lot of satanic drops, this is definitely one of the higher pick decisions. Um, Amazon's just a great choice. You get move speed, you get spearnage, which is just AoE spears across the entire screen. It's a lot of fun. Definitely one of the better choices for buying DLC if you had to buy one. Next, we're going to go into the Shield Lancer. The Shield Lancer comes with his own DLC. Uh, is he worth it? Yes and no. The Shield Lancer is one of the highest wormhole ranked classes in the game right now, and if you don't know what wormholes are, I'll explain that later into a different video. But they're basically like the greater risks from Diablo 3. But Shield Lancer is one of the top for that right now, and that's a really good thing because that means you're getting more gear than everybody else. You're getting more experience, you're getting more rubies, more gold. You're just getting a lot more gear than other players, and you can build Shield Lancers in a lot of different ways. You can go crit, you can go non-crit, you can go full tank, you can go magic find. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So would I personally recommend it though? It's not my playstyle. It's more of just run around the map, take damage, reflect it back onto the enemies, and pick up loot. So it's not fun to me. But if that's the type of playstyle you enjoy, definitely I suggest getting it. The next one we're going to go over is the Demon Spawn. Now, the Demon Spawn was added to the Wrath of the Neveus DLC. This is a very required DLC. You need to have this one in order to play the full game. So this is pretty much a required one either way. But going over the class itself, the Demon Spawn is really strong because he is based on his mana pool. So for example, with the mana shield, he takes damage from his mana first, kind of like Sorcerer from Diablo 2, or like oh geez, I can't even think the ability in Path of Exile right now. Um, but you take damage from your mana before your HP, so you could stack a ton of mana regen, ton of mana leech, ton of mana, and you're just super tanky. And once you get the set bonus, you're always using Blood Surge, which is your beam. I'll show you guys that later in a build guide video, but the beam is super fun. Hits a lot of the screen at one time, and you have it up 24/7. So they're a really good class to play. It's just they're extremely hard to level. You're not gonna enjoy this character probably almost until level 100, until you start actually having some satanics on it, because it's just extremely hard to gear. Next, we're going into the Demon Slayer. Now, this one also comes with the Wrath of Neveus DLC. He is a really exceptionally strong character right now, and you can build him two different ways. You can build him melee and unlock all the melee abilities, or you can build him range and unlock all the ranged abilities. They're kind of two different classes in one. So, it's almost you're getting, you know, two classes in one because their full skill set completely changes depending on whether you're melee or ranged. Now, is it a good class? Yes, it's probably one of the best solo DPS classes right now. So I highly recommend playing him and also getting the DLC. It's just great overall. The Shaman, I believe he comes in his own DM or DLC. Yes, the Shaman Stone bundle DLC. Um, the Shaman's kind of he's okay. He's a little lame to play. The build right now is you basically just sit there and auto attack until you cast this one skill called Elemental Blast, which is a huge explosion. So it can be a little fun. It's just not my playstyle. There used to be a couple builds where you could do like crit spirit wolves, but that has been changed. So you're kind of locked to the one build, and personally, I just don't enjoy it. So it's up to you if you enjoy that type of build, but it's just not my style. The White Mage, I really like the White Mage a lot. He comes in his own bundle. However, he's extremely strong because one, he's a healer, he's a support class. Two, if you get the set bonus, you're always having 50% damage reduction at all times, so he's really good. And then his AoE clear is actually not bad. He's not the best, but he's not the worst either. So if you're looking to play a class that has just a general all-around good feel to it, White Mage is definitely the way to go. Then we're going to go over the Marauder. Now, this is one of my favorites, and personally, this is what I'm playing as my main this season. The Marauder is kind of like a ranged melee character, so you use your flail to kind of fling it around and deal damage to enemies while also flinging yourself around, kind of like Spider-Man. It's a lot of fun. Very quick playstyle, very tanky. He does a lot of damage. So just think more of like a brawler character. He's up in the battle, just tearing things up. A lot of fun, a lot of explosions. I highly recommend it. He comes in his own DLC, and let's see what it's called. Yeah, it's just the Marauder DLC. That's all he comes in. Finally, we're gonna go over the Plague Doctor. The Plague Doctor is really fun, but one of the characters I don't really enjoy that much just because he's not in my playstyle. The Plague Doctor, as you can assume, is based all around Plague. It's a dot, so if you like playing the classes that spread damage over times, then this is a really fun one for you. But for me, I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the slow ticking dot damage characters. I rather play the characters that are up in your face, um, with a lot of action. So that's with the characters. Now, just going over the general DLC, you have to get the Wrath of Mevius. So that unlocks the Demon Slayer and Demon Spawn. That's something you have to have. The next one I would highly suggest you get is the Carpe Doom expansion. That unlocks one act for you, and that also unlocks the Samurai. So just between the Samurai, um, or the Carpe Doom and the Mevius DLC, you're gonna unlock three different classes, and then once you get the Hell DLC, which is required to beat the game either way, then you're going to unlock the Paladin. So you have quite a bit of options before you really go into each specific character's DLC. I mean, you're only having to purchase a total of 6 characters that are outside of those 2 DLC. Um, the top 3 characters on my list right now I would suggest playing would probably be the Marauder, White Mage, and either Amazon or the Paladin, just because they're really fun. They have a lot of AoE. They're really strong characters just in their own self. The ones I would stay away from right now, probably the Necromancer, Shield Lancer, and Plague Doctor. Not because they're bad characters, they're just not my playstyle. I look for something, like I said, that has a lot more action to it. But one of the biggest things that you have to remember about this game is it's not about whether a YouTuber tells you a class is good or not, it's what you want to play and how good you can make the class for yourself. Because ultimately, no matter what class you pick in this game, you're going to be able to do pretty much all end game content. The only difference is the wormhole levels that you'll be able to push. So really just pick something that fits your playstyle and go with it. Now, the next thing I kind of want to talk about is if the class is really good for you or not. Um, I've gone over what each character really does, but that doesn't really quantify if the character is really good for you. So, how do you decide? You kind of just have to pick up a character and play it. I hate to say that as an option, but you just gotta sit here and play the game a little, feel each character out. You get to read their skill descriptions now. That's a new feature they just added. So you can look at the characters and decide a little bit based on their abilities what you're going to be doing, and what type of skills and gear you're going to be going towards. That's going to wrap it up for part 1 of this video series. I'm going to be doing part 2 on getting started with your character, so look forward to that. And if you enjoy the series and enjoy my videos, please hit the subscribe button. It helps me a lot. And if you'd follow me on twitch.tv /WooksieGaming, that would be awesome, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.